37%. With Walton, they win 75% of the time. The Blazers, in their home whites, control. Hollins, Davis, Steele, Walton, and Lucas up front. Bobby Gross out, not in uniform. A steal by Gus Williams of the Sonics. The quickness tried to draw the foul, too, Rick, as he went in for the layup.
You have to watch Gus. He has tremendous anticipation for that basketball, as I said all along. And right there, he picked off a Walton pass.
The Sonics of Lenny Wilkins, who 2 years ago was the coach here of the Portland Trail Blazers. A masterful job. Blocked by Webster as he erases his first shot of the night. And the Sonics come down up by a field goal. And as Rick has pointed out, Webster and Sikma. Sikma now handling the ball at 6'11", looks over Lucas at 6'9". Webster 7'1". Here's Williams. Davis is there. Quickness on quickness. Lucas controls. Steele gives to Davis. Ramsey wants more passing out of his attack. Steele took the shot in a hurry. Ramsey wants to filter things back through Walton. That was not part of his plan, that play. Williams waits. It's John Johnson, formerly of Portland, and Walton clears. Off to Davis on the left side. Lucas ahead. Sikma's there. Hollins passed up the shot and went underneath.
That's more reminiscent of the way the Trailblazers like to play. Bring Bill down the floor as the trailer. Look for him. A good pass that time by Lionel Hollins.
Tied at 2. If Seattle holds you under 100, beware. They have won 27 outings when they held their opposition under 100 under their coach, Lenny Wilkins. Walton forced Webster to pass up the shot. So it's Williams at the perimeter. Marvin couldn't control, but Gus was there, but the whistle had sounded, and Richie Powers detects a foul. Williams was shaken up. You can see Gus there. Took a blow.
There's the replay as the ball bounced off. Keep an eye on Lionel Hollins swinging at the ball right there. Boom! Gus Williams right in the face. Richie Powers picking up the foul.
So the first on Hollins, and of course the first team, so it'll be brought in out of bounds. Another game underway. Denver, Milwaukee. We'll keep you up to date from the Mile High City. Here's John Johnson giving it back now to Dennis Johnson, 24. Hollins was there, and Walton cleans up. Seattle not getting second shots. Cross court to Davis. Here's Lucas powering, and it counts, and Sikma fouled him. Now, Rick, let's talk right away about Maurice Lucas, because we both feel that he will try to go chest to belly button against Sikma early.
Yes, he will. As we watch the replay, the pass to Maurice, he gets Sikma leaning the wrong way a little bit. Body contact, throws up an off-balance shot, gets it in. The one thing that Maurice has to be careful of, Brent, is he cannot try too hard to try and outdo Sikma, who outplayed him in the last ball game. He must play within the framework of the team concept.
Lucas shot only 3 of 15 in that first game, and from behind, Lionel Hollins reached in. 2 fouls, and not a smart foul on Hollins' part to pick up his second one without quickly reaching in from behind. Ramsey saying, let's settle down now. We can't afford to get someone in foul trouble like Lionel Hollins that early. 9:50 to go, first quarter from Portland. The world champions, having lost the first game. Game 3 Sunday in Seattle will be televised by CBS. Webster runs it down. Davis is there. So is Walton's all over him. Lucas puts it up to Hollins, who wants the middle. Gus Williams back down now for the Sonics. Blazers are up by a field goal. Sonics appear a little tight. Walton was underneath. Foul as he came up on Dennis Johnson.
There we go on the play again. You see Johnny Johnson getting up in the air. Fortunately, he had a man open. Dennis Johnson goes up, and looked like Larry Steele may have caught him with the body, but Bill Walton was right there to reject it, and Larry Steele may have made an error and miscalculated.
Dennis Johnson of Seattle at the free throw line. He scored 19 in the Sonics' opening night victory, and he shot just 28% from the field against Portland during the regular season. So he came on so strongly in that first game. Shooting with more confidence, Rick, and against Los Angeles, he appeared to be a strong rebounding guard.
Well, he's been that all season long, and he's the type of a player that you have to watch on the offensive boards, and the guards must box him out, and most guards don't really look to box out.
I talk about Portland's passing game. How will they do that against Seattle's sagging defense, Rick?
It's very difficult because you're allowed the 15-foot shot, and it's easy to take it, and that time they got the movement that they were looking for. A good pass by Walton, and Bill only had 2 assists in the game the other night, Brent, and for this team to win, Bill Walton has to get the ball more often and get more assists, and the players have to move more.
3 team fouls on the Blazers, 1 on the Sonics. Blazers are up by 3 here early. Williams goes 1-on-1 and makes it. It is a 1-point game.
I don't think Lenny Wilkins wants to see that type of basketball too often by Seattle. That time it worked for them because Gus made a tough shot.
Walton outside, and Webster with his second block there in the first quarter. Here's John Johnson. He's open. Wouldn't stay down. There was a loose ball foul called. Webster was trying to get rebounding daylight, and there's the man who I believe deserves to be the coach of the year in the NBA. Yes, Hubie Brown did a magnificent job with Atlanta, but I think Lenny Wilkins turned the team around in what was the toughest division of the NBA this year. 5-17 when he took over, and they can play it. Here's Davis inside to Walton, and there's their game.
They're playing Portland basketball right now. They've moved the ball much better here in the early stages than they did in the entire second half the other evening.
A 3-point Blazer lead, and 8-19. Webster wants it. Walton with him. And here is Sikma. Williams comes up on Davis, but the whistle had sounded. Traveling. The Sonics turn it over.
They're playing with a lot more intensity. As we see here, his excellent defense. Steele got his hand on the ball. Gus Williams with the ball, loses hand on it, changes his pivot foot.
Lucas muscles up, and Webster was there, but the Blazers have gotten in to follow.
One thing you can look for in this basketball game, Brent, as a timeout is being called by Seattle, is for this to be a much more physical contest. Richie Powers is the type of official who likes to let the players play. As we see the shot coming here, the excellent pass to Walton on a previous play. He's there for an easy basket.
It'd be an excellent fight in the World Middleweight Championship. Rodrigo Valdez and Hugo Coro. CBS will televise it live from Italy, 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And of course, on Sunday, we're going to have an NBA doubleheader, and that'll be preceded by the premiere of 3-on-3. Here now in Portland, it is 10-5. The Blazers lead the Sonics, who have possession. And Davis is pressuring the basketball. Here's Sikma, turns in on Lucas, and hits 10-7. Walton, the key man so far. 3 of 5 for Jack Ramsey, and 3 rebounds. Steal by Williams. Let's go to Denver for an update on Milwaukee and the Nuggets. Let's go to Tim Ryan and John McLaughlin.
And the Bucks. Welcome to the fans that have just joined us here in Denver. The Nuggets are in white, the Bucks are in green. And the score, with 7:10 remaining here in the first period, Denver 12 and the Bucks 10.
Marcus Johnson doing a nice job of getting inside. He had a difficult time in the first game getting inside on this Denver team. Their defense has done an excellent job of sagging back in there. Coming into tonight's game, the Nuggets did not want to get into an all-out running game with the Bucks. So far, it's working for them. Pushing the ball up the court.
Marcus Johnson missing the foul shot after Issel committed the foul for Denver. And it's Denver ball. Thompson brings it up, watched by Quinn Buckner. Issel, good feed to Bobby Jones. No basket, traveling is called, and Larry Brown comes to his feet as we have 7:01 to go first period, with Denver leading by 2, 12-10.
Back in Portland, the Sonics with the ball. You missed one field goal by Bill Walton. 12-9 as a result of that. The Sonics with possession right now. 6:26 to go in the first quarter. Here's their rookie. Sikma putting it down, and Lucas draws the foul, and the Blazers and their fans not happy.
And here's the play. Sikma with that good face-up move. Gets Lucas committing himself going forward. Contact with the body. Good move by Sikma.
The Blazers' defense has been superb in Portland so far. Let's see what the Sonics can come up with right now. Shot clock is down toward 12. Webster at the free throw line is short, only one shot. And the Sonics are a superb offensive rebounding team. So the Blazers are playing strong, fundamental basketball right now. Steele goes baseline, and Webster has been a one-man defensive gang. Here's Williams, outside jump shot. Pretty, wasn't it? All twine going down. 8 points now for Gus Williams and 8 for Bill Walton. It's a 1-point Blazer lead over the tough young Sonics. Johnson all over Steele. Walton from the left side. Spins out. Webster's got a lead man. It's Williams. And Davis comes back on him. Gus goes to the basket, and Seattle moves ahead 13-12, and Gus Williams with 10.
And those are the type of plays that Jack Ramsey was quite concerned about in the last ball game. The transition basket, a missed shot, and an easy breakaway hoop for the opposition. 13 now for the Sonics, 12 for the Blazers.
Williams with control, comes around to Sikma, goes back to Webster, who is left alone. Now there, Walton calls timeout, and for the first time we have seen Bill encounter a problem getting down after these messages from your local station.
And there's Gus Williams, and this is how well Seattle is playing. A blitzing linebacker, looks like almost Kenny Stabler throwing the long pass to Cliff Branch as Dennis Johnson times it perfectly. One step up, easy basket, and the Sonics are executing like that on both ends of the floor.
Oh, Al Davis will love you. Stabler to Branch. Touchdown Raiders.
Well,
you would say that, right?
Of course.
All right. Sonics come back down now as we start the second quarter in Portland. 30-20. Lots of basketball this weekend on CBS. Premier a 3-on-3 Sunday afternoon, then an NBA playoff doubleheader. Downtown, Freddie Brown is checked in. So too is Paul Silas, who rolls the hook shot, and so has Lloyd Neal, 36. Both coaches now have gone to the bench. Van Corky Calhoun, number 10. I better set the lineups. Twardzik, Neal, Calhoun, Owens, and Dunn. Twardzik burns one outside. For the Sonics, they come down now with Johnson, Silas, Webster. Both Johnsons are out there, John and Dennis, and Freddie Brown, number 32. Ramsey down to the one knee. Webster with Tom Owens battling him. Johnson cutting, looking for a man. Waiting now, shot clock to 5. John Johnson to Silas, shot clock to 3. And Tom Owens trying to pull down the rebound through the foul.
Good defense that time by the Blazers, and you can see the Sonics a blistering 60%, 41 for the Blazers.
Bill Walton still being rested. Marvin Webster has blocked 4 shots and pulled down 7 rebounds. He's the man in the middle right now on that defense. Twardzik comes in on him. Twardzik goes down, and it'll go to Seattle. And you could see Marvin just jump in there. Rick, he is extremely active down there on that key.
Yes, he is, as we see Twardzik make the move to the hoop. There's Marvin moving over, leaving his man, looking him, just blanketing the man, forcing him to try to pass off out of bounds. Good defense by Marvin.
Twardzik harassing John Johnson. 10:41. We'll have Horse coming up at halftime for you here on CBS this evening. Don't forget, of course, we got Denver, Milwaukee, and Milwaukee leading that game by 3 points right now is the update. From the corners, Dennis Johnson. 7 points for the evening. It was Gus Williams with 15 in that first quarter. And that pushed Seattle ahead on the scoreboard. But a lot of other subtle things are being done by men who are not scoring the points. Wally Walker, 42, is there for Lenny Wilkins. And his ball is stolen as Twardzik, but there is a foul. And it's in the backcourt. Twardzik came back pushing against Freddie Brown. So we're going to have a couple of shots coming up.
Here's the play. Twardzik just lost the control of the ball. Freddie Brown has it. Twardzik didn't really push him. Fred Brown gets a award for a wonderful act on that one. And Freddie can do that.
You know a little bit about acting. You never act, though, do you?
Whenever I can. Get whatever you can get, however you can get it out there. As long as you play within the rules, though.
Here is Freddie Brown, who finished 3rd in the free throw derby this year. One R. Berry, number 24 of the Golden State Warriors, was 1st. And dandy little Calvin Murphy of the Houston Rockets finished 2nd. And Freddie buries these. So it's 34-22 and 10:06 left. First half in Portland. Sonics lead it by a game. Game 3. Sunday afternoon in Seattle. That's a 12:45 start in Seattle. Lloyd Neal. Walker on him, so Neal takes him to the hoop and goes to the left hand. And look at Silas bang away. Moving bodies every which way. Sikma will soon join him. It's a demolition derby when Silas wants daylight. Brown. Walker almost rolled off, and so Freddie says, if you can't find daylight, I'll shoot it myself. 9:35 to go. And Walton again being rested. Calhoun, they're going to save him for that second half, it looks like. Calhoun hits one. There they are, Lucas, Walton, and Hollins right to left. It's a 12-point margin right now. Webster has gone the entire distance, so too is Dennis Johnson. Twardzik popping out, and there's a whistle and a foul. Going for the steal that time, and young Jack Sikma comes in, and perhaps that will signal a rest for Marvin Webster. We'll have to see how Lenny Wilkins aligns things after the timeout.
Yes, and you can see that again, Twardzik trying to start something, trying to come up with a steal. They need to make some good plays. A little over anxious, another foul.
Half-court basketball, 3-on-3. Julius Irving, Kevin Lockery, and comic David Steinberg team up against Maurice Lucas, former Boston Celtic great Sam Jones, and actor Robert Conrad. And Rick Berry, who participated in that, has been telling me all along that is going to be a tremendous series. Debut Sunday. Let's go down to Denver and update that game. Tim Ryan and John McLaughlin.
I'd like to welcome the fans that have just joined us here in Denver. Milwaukee leading Denver 35-32. The Nuggets in white, the Bucks in green. Roberts, Anthony Roberts.
Dave Myers that time getting in for the Bucks and getting the offensive rebound, getting called for the travel. But in general, in the first game and tonight, the Nuggets are very aware of blocking off the boards, going to the board, getting the ball out.
Darnell Hillman, number 30, gives to Roberts. Roberts driving, and Myers there to cut him off. Myers, you can hear him on our microphone saying, "Good call," rather sarcastically.
Here you see Roberts going to the basket very nicely, and when you penetrate to the basket, that puts pressure on the defensive players, and many times you can draw the foul as you did then.
Roberts will shoot two. It's 35-32 Milwaukee.
In Portland, the Sonics with the ball. You missed two baskets. One by Fred Brown after a Sonic steal. Then Dave Twardzik responded for the Blazers. So it is 38-26 with 8:07 to go in the first half. And yes, Marvin Webster is out. So Sikma is operating at center right now for Lenny Wilkins. Brown maneuvers, but he was forced out of his shot because of the height of T.R. Dunn. Dennis Johnson with the shot clock running down. A fresh 24 on the deep bounce to Wally Walker.
When things are going good, everything seems to go right.
That's the truth, Rick. Sikma looking in over his shoulder. Owens with him. He's now the center, and the foul call. And the crowd is upset because they feel that the official Hugh Evans was out of position that time, looking in from behind.
Well, let's take a look at it. Here's Owens playing pretty good body position right there. Go for the shot. He reaches in. You can see that he's got him all over the arm. So the official again was right on top of the play. It was a good call. Hometown fans are just a bit partisan at times.
39-26. And Gus Williams and Bill Walton have come back in. So Walton returns. And a little stiffness in that left foot as he goes down the court right now. May have tightened up just a bit as he was sitting on the bench. He comes back with 7:30 to go in the first half, and Neal hitting outside with Silas there.
And that's the shot that he is so devastating with, and at least he was during the regular season, and they need that type of performance. Open up things in the middle a little bit, get the cutting game going.
Williams is off, and Walton cleans the defensive glass. Brown with token pressure, and Dunn quickly brings it past him. Walton now sets up. Neal. Walker sealed him off.
Very flat on that shot. Brent never really had a chance.
Rick, I'm noticing that Walton, when he is not getting down there that quickly, they don't funnel all the passes to him. We're not seeing him down in that low post quite as often as we normally do when he's 100%, of course. Silas with an inside move, but he is still lethal on that defensive glass, isn't he? And Gus Williams was alert. Almost had the steal. Done back to Twardzik. Calhoun, left corner, deep bounce. Calhoun on the hustle.
Foul was called before he made the shot on the outside on Jack Sikma for grabbing Corky on a heads-up move. Nobody screened him off when he shot the ball. Gave him clear path to get that offensive rebound.
Going to have a timeout. We've got a 12-point difference right now. Seattle leading the series. 1-0 is taking an early lead on the world champions in Portland. At least for the time being, because Seattle has taken an early lead, and of course they won the first game by 9 points. Earlier tonight, Washington beat San Antonio 118-105. Washington now leads that series 2-1. Game 4 Sunday on CBS. Welcome now, those of you who are watching Milwaukee, Denver. Here the world champion Blazers have possession. They trail Seattle 40-28. Bill Walton is back, and so too is Marvin Webster, number 40. Neal and Sikma was there, but it goes to Walton. And so for Bill Walton, 10 points, 8 in the first quarter, and a long rest break.
Yes, he certainly did get that. They've got it back down to 10, and it's a very important part of the game, Brent. If the Blazers hope to get back and win this ball game, they have to try and cut this lead down. A couple of baskets going into halftime. Get a little momentum going their way.
Webster's pick allows Brown to go down the center, but Freddie could not control the ball completely. And Walton is limping rather noticeably as he comes past me. And I believe that that's getting worse. It's the left foot, not the one that was operated on. Now Davis goes to Bill. Bill checks that right shoulder. Webster is there. Webster bumps him and Walton rolls the left-handed hook. And Neal crashes out to take it away from Walker, but he was out of bounds. So with 5:49 to go in the first half, the Sonics lead the Blazers 40-30. Walton shooting 4 of 9 with 5 rebounds. Many of them at that defensive end. There he is, pressuring Webster with one hand. Brown brings it back in. Shot clock is to 5, and Williams is short, and Dunn is off. But Freddie Brown and now Gus Williams get back on the defense for Seattle. Dunn comes up, and it is Marvin Webster off to Sikma. Walton did not come down that time.
Bill's not going to run when he doesn't have to, Brent. That's where he can take his rest.
Williams cuts the baseline, goes to the offhand. How's that for quickness? 17 points for Gus Williams.
He was upset by himself, and he really is taking his time going down the floor. You can see him there. He's limping badly. He was upset. He thought he could have gotten that ball, I think, under normal circumstances.
Neal comes up, and again it was the intimidation of Marvin Webster, and then he yanks it off. Slapped away by Neal. No foul. Williams retrieved.
Marvin, a big force underneath that basket.
Davis with Williams. Brown goes into Sikma. Walton is over there, and Sikma was patient, but he couldn't put it away.
And that really hurt Bill. That really hurt Bill when he had to jump and land on that foot.
Slowly coming back down now. Walton outside with Webster. And the whistle underneath. Dunn was maneuvering. Substitutes checking in. Larry Steele 15, Lionel Hollins 14, and that was a 3-second violation. No foul on that whistle.
No, T.R. Dunn looked like he wanted to shoot the ball, changed his mind, and one of his players got caught in that lane too long.
Walton is still there, and we'll keep a careful eye. There is no doubt that he is playing with pain right now. Webster is looking in on the big redhead, and here's Freddie Brown moving and jiving and looking for the shot. Webster runs it down. Lucas couldn't control it. Wally Walker.
Bill couldn't even jump that time.
Davis in the middle. Pull-up jump shot. Is short. Walton in trouble. Slowly going back. Checking the bench right now. 3:42 to go in the first half. It's a 12-point Sonic lead over the Blazers. How sad it is to see a marvelous athlete when he can't operate at 100%. Webster goes to Williams on a pretty pass.
Excellent pass that time by Webster.
There's Bill trying to come down the floor in the middle. Now on the right-hand side. Setting up with Webster. Waiting. Shot clock inside 10. They go underneath. And it was off Hollins. Dennis Johnson, number 24, reports in for Lenny Wilkins.
Sonics keeping the pressure on, up by 14 points at this stage. And this is just not the Portland Trailblazer team that you folks around the country have been used to watching.
Williams is shooting 9 of 13. The ball will go back now, and Wilkins says he gave him the thigh. Richie, you've got to call the foul.
See, that's the thing sometimes that causes a problem, Brent. That time there was quite a bit of contact. Nothing was called, and then a few other calls. There was incidental contact, and a foul was called.
The Sonics are up by 14, trying to go home with a 2-0 lead in this best 4 out of 7. Lucas and Sikma is there. Banging away. Webster on the double team, left the floor, and Maurice was patient, came up with a shot. Back to 12 and 2:46, and Owen soon will check in. Deflected by Lucas, Williams, and Walton on the block. Williams will come back up. Walton alone, outlet now to Davis. Lucas and Steele break. They go to Steele. Hit by Seattle, and Walton's got to go out.
I watched it very carefully in the last play, Brad. and he is just not getting any push whatsoever off of that left foot. He only got about 6 inches off the ground, and when that man there is not playing basketball, as Brent pointed out earlier, that Portland basketball team is a lot of trouble, but give Seattle credit. They're playing excellent basketball. Maurice gives him a pretty good one. It's something really to look forward to, and of course you'll be quite surprised at how well David Steinberg plays.
Really?
Oh, yes.
44-32. I favor your team, Rick. I think that you should be able to beat anybody. We'll see as that series unfolds. Taped in Las Vegas. Lucas up. Webster, but it's goaltending. Oh, going for his 5th block with 4 already and 11 rebounds. No doubt about that.
There's a shot. Ball's coming down. You can't quite see it, but you can just see how close he is to the basket.
He is a force. Picked up by Lenny Wilkins from Denver. And he has done a job. Slowed that first year and a half by hepatitis. Yelling instructions. He'll take it up. Owens was there, and Owens fouled the big fella.
There's the play again. Gives a little pump. He's still right on him. Reaches in, catches him on the forearm. Good call by the official, even though the fans are booing. They've been right on top of most of the plays, and that is 14 fouls now on the Blazers. Next one will be the penalty with 2 minutes to go.
And a 10-point difference in this ball game.
And 3 team fouls on the Sonics.
With 4 on the Blazers right now, Rick. Webster hits the second one, so it's up to 11. 2-minute warning given now to the players on both teams. Hollins checking to see if Ramsey had instructions. He didn't, so he whirled to the attack. Wally Walker fronting Steele. Owens. Webster is on him. Jump hook by Tom. And they're going to need all the offense they can get out of Tom Owens now, with Bill Walton obviously hobbled. Ramsey trying to rally his troops. The crowd will be a big, big help here in Portland. Owens has switched out on Williams. 130. Davis can't possibly get up there with Marvin Webster. Webster used the mismatch to score points 6 and 7.
And it was Gus Williams who directed that play. He told Marvin to go back under. Good play by Gus.
Lucas put a move on Sikma and lost control. And again, it was Marvin Webster, looming big, who jumped out on Maurice that time. A defensive force in this game.
And Maurice trying to get to the basket more often. He does not have any confidence, it seems, in his outside shot. And of course, with those sore wrists that he has, his outside shooting has suffered very, very much.
Sikma throws one up underhanded, and it is Webster. Battling for control with Sikma's steal. Out to Davis. Davis to Hollins. It's 4 on 3. White. Jump hook by Owens. 2 for 2 with that shot. And that could be a very big turnaround with Marvin Webster unable to tap down. The offensive rebound. The Blazers come back and quickly hit. 40 seconds first half. Williams maneuvering. Oh, Gus forced one and it went anyway. 30 seconds, an 11-point lead. Davis. Owens is off, and the ball was hit last by Seattle.
Well, they have one time for one shot, 20 seconds to go. Play the clock down. Trailing now by 11. They could cut it to 9, and got a lot of basketball left, Brent. This team will not fold up. You can rest assured of that.
It would be a very encouraging moment if they could close out with a hoop right here and have their fans cheering. But again, the key factor for Portland is going to be that Bill Walton is not completely healthy. It'll be Hollins at the top of the circle with 2 seconds.
No good. Richie Powers called it no good. Maurice went for the dunk. If he had taken the shot, he might have had a chance to make the basket. It would have counted. You see 1 second. He wants to go for the dunk, and it cost him.
Time is out. A 9-point lead. The Sonics over the Blazers. The crowd booing the referees. Let's go to Tim Ryan in Denver for an update.
And now welcome to the fans that have just joined us here in Denver. The Nuggets in white and the Bucks in green with our score 49-49. 4:40 remaining here in the first half. This has been a seesaw battle right from the opening tip, and Matt Calvin brings it down for Denver. David Thompson, watched by Bridgman. Thompson keeps it alive. 1 second on the shot clock, and it's tipped in underneath.
J.J. Thompson, with that super jumping ability, just went up over everyone and put it up. Now let's see if we can pick it up here. The official said the ball was on the rim. It was not.
And so with 4:14 to go, we're still tied at 49 all here in Denver.
Twice Seattle led by 14 points. Portland, with Bill Walton injured, whittled away. They went into their locker room down by 9 points. Now Horse coming up.
John couldn't do very much on that play.
And Tom Owens, in that first game, scored but 2 points, had 4 at the half in game 2.
And in 32 seconds, the Blazers are to the line one more time than they were in the entire first 24 minutes.
And it pays dividends, doesn't it, to get to that free throw line. 49-42. Hollins pressuring Johnson in the ball. Keeping it out away from Webster and Sikma. It'll be defense that must tell the story right now. Owens leaning on Webster. Shot clock inside of 5. Now 3. DJ outside. Webster coming back, and there was a whistle underneath. Owens. And an unhappy Tom Owens.
And Richie Powers did a very smart thing there to help out. He ran over to make sure that Owens didn't get himself involved in a situation that might have got him thrown out of the ball game.
They can't afford to lose Owens because of Walton's injury. 3 fouls to Owens.
Few words between Webster and Owens. We'll have to keep an eye on that matchup.
Tom Owens is 6'10", 6-year pro, out of South Carolina. And the burden falls squarely on his shoulders. He responded during the regular season, but he did not have a good game 1. Williams off to Sikma deep. Owens off. Quickly now to Davis. Hollins leads it. There's green jerseys back, and Davis's pull-up ignites the crowd in Portland.
They've got it back to 5, as you can see. Whatever Jack Ramsey said to the players at halftime, he certainly got them sky high.
These are the times when you watch tremendous desire on the part of professional athletes. John Johnson is off, and Portland can inch even closer.
Boy, did Maurice Lucas give a shot to Dennis Johnson.
Davis' spinning shot. Sikma. And Hollins got a hand on it and saved it. Steal to the floor.
And that's going to be a foul, Brent, on Dennis Johnson.
Steele wanted the backcourt, saying I was on the other side of the line.
Here's the play again. Great play that time by Hollins. Threw his arm back. See Steele with great hustle also. Johnson going after it. A little bit too aggressive. And he got him down for the pin.
It's a 5-point difference. And emotions are bubbling right now.
2 team fouls on the Sonics, 1 on the Blazers.
Owens gave it back to Davis, who got inside and drew the foul.
There's the play. You see Gus Williams lost sight of the ball, Brett, something you can't do in this game, and it cost him as Davis makes a heck of a move there. The foul by Gus with the body. Gets a break as the ball goes in. That's one of the major rules, the primary rules in this game. You should always try to keep man-ball relationships. See your man and the ball at the same time. That time Gus turned his head and he got burned. Good pass by Owens.
9 becomes 3, and Seattle has not yet scored. Suddenly it's 2. They've gone 2 minutes without scoring.
I'm surprised Lenny Wilkins is not called for a timeout, Brent.
J.J. Williams goes, and Owens is there on the pass. Lucas, it's 3-on-1 to Steele.
And he got fouled, Brett. The basket counts, and the people are going crazy as the Blazers have tied this game and a chance to go ahead. 9:46 to go as Lucas makes the good pass. Steele in, watch the foul right there. Catches him with the hand. Ball goes in the basket, and the Trail Blazers have come to life here in Portland. Basket.
8 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the third.
Can they sustain it, though, Brent? They are expending a heck of a lot of energy out here.
Lucas going with Sikma. Now it's J.J. who comes around the pick. And he scored. It was a screen by Webster that set it up to tie it at 53 in 8 minutes. Lucas wanted the hole. Williams almost slapped it away. Davis is alone.
Right now, Seattle cannot get too anxious. They've got to try to play their game, move the ball, don't take bad shots. They're still in pretty good shape right now.
And Gus Williams scored 21 in the first half, has not yet scored here in the second. Back to DJ, who gets his man down low, and an offensive foul is called. Lionel Hollins again is operating with those 4 fouls.
There's the play again. Nice behind-the-back pass by Johnson. Let's watch the position here of Lionel Hollins. There he is, straight ahead. No question, Dennis Johnson initiating the contact for the offensive foul.
69-53. Denver now leading Milwaukee in the second half. Davis shot rolled out. JJ for Seattle with control in the middle. Foot race. Coming free. Charged in and traveled first. It'll go to the Blazers, who are up by 2.
There's the play. He's going at the hoop. Let's see if he gets tripped here. Hard to tell. Well, you really can't see it on the play there. I don't know whether he was tripped or he just lost control of his body.
I'm surprised that Lenny hasn't gone to Paul Silas and Wally Walker here. And this bit of a drought by the Sonics. Williams, he'll lead it as Webster goes back. Davis rotates. And Gus gets his first hoop of the second half and 23 points for the game.
Well, Gus was shooting 10 for 16 in the first half. Fred Brown's going to come in the backcourt. Gus was hot, and they haven't gone to him here in the second half.
Lucas passed up the shot opportunity. Williams coming in on Owens.
And with the penalty situation, that will be 2 free throws coming up for the Blazers. Only 2 fouls on the Blazers. They're in a good position right now, and Lenny does not like it.
To go in the third quarter. But again, as Rick Barry pointed out, can the Blazers keep up this emotional peak that has carried them back into this game after being down by 9 at the half? There's the man in the middle who replaces Walton, Tommy Owens.
Big turnaround of free throws, Brent. Portland already shooting 7 free throws in this half. The 2 for Seattle was 13-1 in the first half, as we pointed out.
Williams up on Davis. Owens with that hand, fronting Webster. And it's behind him and it goes out of bounds. And the turnover, the Blazers can run their 2-point lead up. 17-6. Portland has outscored Seattle so far in the third quarter. There have been 13 turnovers by Seattle so far in this game. Eludes Davis and give the Blazers that turnover. Jack Ramsey saying, hold on tightly like this. So it's Fred Brown, Gus Williams, John Johnson, Marvin Webster, and Jack Sikma on the floor for Lenny Wilkins. Clock goes down to 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Here's Freddie Brown, his range anywhere. Short, and Webster skies for the rebound. Couldn't hit the layup, coming back up.
And we have a loose ball foul, and it is on Marvin Webster. But the penalty, there's the shot. Gets up, didn't get it high enough on the board. Lucas comes down strong, and you can see Marvin is hooked inside. And he really didn't have much to do about that one. Brent Maurice kind of hooked his arm, and he just got caught in a very difficult situation and picked up the foul.
And it goes down, Rick, as the third against Marvin Webster. John Johnson also playing with 3. Tom Owens with 4. Free throws could be the critical factor in this game. 3-point Blazer lead. 5:40 to go in the third. Steele will take his former teammate. Freddie Brown with that quick release. Spun out. So Freddie Brown has missed his last 2 shots. That will not last. He's much like the man who sits right next to me. He'll keep firing till he gets it right. Lucas. Now it is Brown out. Pushing it to Williams. 2-on-2. Blazers back.
Excellent defense.
Good defense by the Blazers that time.
Well, Lionel Hollins in particular, he really anticipated well that time.
Hollins with Freddie, wants him to come to the left side. Does not want him to come around that pick. Hollins comes in behind. Webster comes out. Webster will maneuver with the shot clock now inside of 5, and they've turned it over.
That pressure defense is really starting to rattle Seattle. They have got to take their time, as I pointed out earlier, Brent, get some more execution. You notice how far Portland has forced them off the floor, and they're forced to take the tough outside shots. Game getting very physical also out here. Let's keep an eye on it.
Williams is there with Davis, and here's Owens. Wants the middle, and Webster bumping. It's off, but it'll take the deep hop to Portland. Davis.
And Davis getting the hot hand. Hitting those outside shots.
Paul Silas will soon be into the action for Seattle. 4:30. It is a 5-point Portland lead. They were up by 5 early in the first quarter, but then Seattle took command. Make it 3. Webster went to the running left-handed hook shot through the key area that time, and suddenly it gets quiet as everyone realizes what Webster and Sikma can do if they get rolling together. Lucas put it down, coming in on Sikma that time, and drew the foul.
You see how important it is to be able to face up to the basket, and both of those players play very similar. As Paul Silas enters the game, you see the square-up move. He gave the fake to the right. Sikma went for it, got him off balance, picks up the foul, goes to the free throw line in the penalty situation. And a wise move with Silas coming in, Brent. Paul Silas has more playoff experience than his entire team. And Lenny can see that they're being rattled somewhat, and he wants to get Paul in there, I think, as a steadying influence.
Wally Walker will join him. Welcome the Denver-Milwaukee crowd. A turnaround with Portland leading Seattle and the Sonics in their traveling green and a whistle underneath on that play. Let me say that it has been the inspired defensive work that has brought the Blazers back into this game as Wally Walker checks in for Lenny Wilkins. We've got 3 minutes and 52 seconds to go in the third period. And that is the second foul against Lucas, 22-8. Portland has outscored Seattle here in the third quarter. Silas rolls off. Couldn't put it away, but Gus Williams is there.
I'm still surprised they have not gone to Gus. He had the hot hand in the first half. He's not shooting the ball from the outside.
And you got a brief glimpse of Bill Walton, who has not played at all in the second half, as Davis hits from the left baseline for the Blazers, 64-59.
And Johnny Davis, a big factor here offensively for Portland, hitting that outside shot.
3:20 to go, and the Blazers up by 5. Freddie Brown burned that one, and it's back to 3 with 3 minutes to go. And Johnny Davis has come away with 11 points in this quarter. He is 5 of 8 from the floor. He's in control right now. He's feeling it, much as Gus Williams did in the first. He's got it back.
And a smart move by Owens. He could have taken the shot, but he knows Davis has the hot hand. Found him open on a mismatch there. Easy basket.
Wilkins upset. He wanted a defensive man out there in the corner. Steele takes Walker and Brown. 2 for 2. Got underneath on the pretty pass. T.R. Dunn shortly will check back in. We're going to have a timeout in Portland, and a reminder that Game 3 of this series will be Sunday afternoon.
And he played the same way in that 3-on-3 competition.
So that will be premiering Sunday. Then the NBA doubleheader. Here in the quarter, Portland is ripping away at 53%, 8 of 15. Seattle 35%, 6 of 17. Defense has been the difference. 2 minutes and 26 seconds. And with their star player on the bench, the Blazers have rallied. Dunn, Davis, Owens, Lucas, and Steele against Walker, Silas, Webster, Williams, and Brown. Silas with Maurice.
That is the match that they could take advantage of right there. There's no way that Paul Silas can stop Maurice Lucas. He doesn't have the height to begin with.
Steele will take Walker. Owens jumps out on the switch. Webster wants it to go to him. He's in a mismatch situation. Steele jumping out on him, and the foul was called. That is the third foul on Larry. Time left in the quarter in the upper right-hand corner.
14 fouls, Brent, for the Blazers.
Sonics already in the penalty with 5. And here's Silas, who made a move to the hoop, and he's got a chance for the three-pointer.
That's an excellent play by Seattle. They had a definite mismatch here as we watch the replay. See Gus with the ball. He sees the mismatch, hits the center. Silas wisely pins the little man Davis on his back. Good pass inside by Webster. Paul lays it in, picks up the foul. Smart basketball by the Sonics that time.
Wilkins checks with Brown on the sideline and sends him back. Silas completes the three-point play to pull Seattle to within 2, 68-66. Minute 45 to go in the third quarter, and this the second game. Best 4 out of 7. Portland and Seattle. Tried to steal it, and they come up with it. Brown got it across the time. He thought he had lost it and wouldn't be allowed to touch it. And Silas with that power to the hoop, and finally Steele comes off.
And he didn't see it. Maurice Lucas was all by himself down the floor, but he did not pick him up.
Inside to Owens, it goes back to Steele and screens. And Silas and Lucas crash to the floor on the other side. It's like a building coming down over there.
And the foul is being called on Maurice. Watch the shot. Now watch on the board. Look at Silas backing up. And he is the one that initiated the contact, and that was not a good call.
Silas will come up to the free throw line. Welcome the Denver-Milwaukee crowd. Paul Silas checking the scoreboard. Seattle trailing Portland 70-66 with 107, which you can see in the upper right-hand corner. Now the grand old man of the SuperSonics. Been here before with the Boston Celtics. There is something about the color green that brings out the best in Paul Silas. Spent a year in Denver and was not that comfortable with the Nuggets. But he's done a splendid job coming off the bench for Lenny Wilkins. He was a starter when the season began, before Wilkins became the head coach. Blazers up by 3, and inside of a minute now in the third. And Steele stepped out of bounds, protesting that he was pushed.
Well, it either has to be out of bounds or a foul, as we see the play right here. He's going, watch his right foot. Richie Powers had the angle. Looks like he may have stepped on the line.
So the final 48 ticks of the clock, and the third has belonged to the Blazers. Williams, pull up.
Gus finally takes an outside shot. I believe he's 3 for 3 this half. He hasn't had many opportunities.
Total of 27 points with those 6 in the third quarter, Rick. It's a 1-point Portland lead. Davis inside, and Gus Williams got a hand, and Brown comes on the reverse dribble, cross to Williams, back to Walker. Fouled by Steele. Pretty basketball as the Sonics came down on the move that time. That is 4 fouls on Larry Steele.
You see Freddie Brown with the good pass to Gus. Gus makes the quick pass over to Wally Walker. Wally had a little tough angle that time. It's fouled by Steele right in the arm there, as you saw. Wally actually should have held up a little bit on his run, Brent, not allowed himself to get so far underneath the basket. That will come with experience.
Walker opened the season with Portland and actually scored 8 points in the first game against Seattle. The Trailblazers dominating the regular season series 3-1, but throw it out. It means nothing now.
And interesting enough, the team that did not score 100 points in every one of those games lost.
So Wally Walker has eased the Sonics back into the lead with those 2 free throws. It's 1 point, and it's last shot time at the third quarter. Steele goes inside to Lucas. Lucas maneuvering. Webster standing, and off comes Silas, and the Sonics will hold on to the lead as we've come to the end of the third quarter. And we'll return to the Portland Memorial Coliseum after these messages from your local stations. So, Seattle weathers the third period storm, and a reminder to be sure and stay tuned for the MVP award at the conclusion of the game. And Bill Walton unhappily continues to sit on the bench because of that injury. And Bobby Gross, who was also a starter on their championship team, of course is not even in uniform. Stress fracture has left him idle And there's doubt that he could even be back if Portland should reach the championship round. Portland outscored Seattle 26-14 in the third quarter. Twardzik goes inside to Hollins, who comes up on Brown. Chance for the three-pointer. Freddie fouled him. Gus Williams, 13 of 19 so far.
You see the play. Lionel had excellent position that time. Freddie tries to give a little act on the play. Bodied up to him and picks up the foul.
Marvin Webster being rested by Lenny Wilkins as we begin the final quarter. And Brown still driving away with the official.
Toughest thing defensively, Brent, is you have to beat the man to position away from the ball, and that's not the easiest thing to do. If a man gets it that low, it's very difficult to stop him.
Lucas with Silas and Owens with Sikma. Twardzik's got Williams underneath, and Sikma on the switch. But no, right there was the foul. Sikma wanted to put it down on Tommy Owens and drew it.
And here's the play right here. He gives the pump fake, gets Owens coming into him off balance. Sikma does that move excellently, and they've done a good job keeping him contained somewhat here this evening.
Gus Williams. Lucas is off. Here is Steele. And it'll be Tommy Owens over Sikma, 75-71.
Tom Owens coming on after a poor performance the other evening, doing a fine job in replacing Bill Walton in the second half.
Brown cuts the lead in half. 11 minutes for the game. Lloyd Neal soon will check in for Jack Ramsey. Denver continues to hold a big lead on Milwaukee in that game. Collins tapped by Owens, but Sikma's there. And it's Walker and Williams. Walker trying to break free down the middle. Steele was there. And that is number 5 on Larry Steele. Now Lloyd Neal checks in, and so Owens goes out.
Neal, another one of the players hampered by injuries on this Portland team. It seemed like the roof caved in on him all of a sudden.
Last year, Rick, they were injury-free as they came down the stretch. Walton missed some games during the regular season, but I think that it shows just how close some of these teams are in the NBA. You lose a couple of players and you're out of it right now.
Certainly injuries are a big factor in any professional sport, and the Blazers have had their share this year, and it's really hurt them.
Tied at 75, 10 minutes and 34 seconds. Corky Calhoun is out there at one forward. Lucas and Neal will operate. Hollins and Twardzik, and Hollins up on Brown. Hit the jump shot outside. 9 points for Lionel Hollins. Scored 13 in game 1. Now it's Brown, Williams, Silas, Walker, and Sikma. Webster still being rested. Sonics going for the tie. Freddie Brown's got it and the chance to put Seattle ahead.
So all individual effort, one-on-one, not the best basketball in the world, but when you get a result like that, you can't complain as a coach.
Rick, they've been encouraging him to go this way all game long, but he seems to be hitting on the move right now.
Look at the concentration on Freddie's face. And right there you can see Twardzik come in. That's where he made the bump. Wisely, Freddie took it up and gets the three-point play as he converts the free throw.
That's 15 points for Fred Brown. And a Seattle lead, 78-77, and 10 minutes for the ball game. Hollins will go to Calhoun. Williams came shooting past him with that leap. Inside, knocked away and stolen by Walker. Walker with control for the Sonics.
That was good defense by Seattle. Gus Williams made the leap at him, caused him not to take the shot. They wind up with a steal.
Brown again moving. That time a little too much spin. Williams to slow up Twardzik and fouled him, and Wilkins is furious with that call. He is up and talking to Richie Powers. Now, when I say furious, Lenny Wilkins is not one of the more demonstrative coaches in the NBA. He's a rather calm personality. But what a job he's done with this ball club. Timeout in Portland, 9:36 for the game. Back in Portland for the final 9 minutes and 36 seconds, with the Sonics leading the Blazers 78-77.
Brent, if you're Jack Ramsey now, and the game is close, going down to the last few minutes, do you bring the big fellow in? Interesting situation. His mere presence out there may be the difference. They need this game badly. I would have to think he's got to bring him in if the game is close, if he can just get up and down the floor at all.
Wojcik at the line. Chance to tie it. And Denver increasing its lead on Milwaukee.
Team foul situation, 2 on the Sonics, 3 on the Blazers.
Now it's the Sonics' turn to shoot for the lead. 11 lead changes and 7 ties so far. Welcome to Denver, Milwaukee crowd. Portland with the basketball in a 1-point lead, 79-78. 9 minutes and 5 seconds left in Portland. Bill Walton has not played since the second quarter. Watching the action, and you've got to wonder, as Rick Barry asked, will Ramsey bring him in for the final 2 minutes, or will he go with the bunch that brought him this far? You got to dance with the folks that brought you, Darrell Royal might say. But on the other hand, you look for help whenever you can get it in the playoffs. Sikma with control, and the rookie from Illinois, Wesleyan, stayed with it. It's 80-79, Seattle.
Those offensive rebounds at this stage of the game are so crucial. You've got to get on those defensive boards.
Free throws will be critical right now, too. Shot clock down toward 10. Lucas at the perimeter, and Neal left alone. Layup wouldn't go down.
Boy, does that hurt at this stage.
That would have changed the lead. Walker foul. Lucas and Hollins surround him. And Maurice Lucas picks up number 4 with Tom Owens and Marvin Webster coming in.
And also the 4th team foul. Next one, the penalty situation. A lot of time to go. Could be a big factor.
2 team fouls, Rick, against the Sonics. 8 minutes and 9 seconds. Owens was there on the bad pass. Blazers can grab the lead. Hollins, here's Neal, who could have had it a minute ago. Owens does.
Nice pass that time, a good pick and roll play.
7 minutes and 40 seconds.
Look how high out they've got them now, almost at the half-court line starting their offense.
Webster's got his back to the ball on offense. And that on Lionel Hollins as in. Now we've got number 4. Earlier we had 5. That is 5 is right. You bet.
There you see him reaching in. We can't really see if he grabbed him, but the official had a much better angle on the play.
Hollins will take a break.
This is one fellow you do not want to put at the free throw line. And of course, you always jinx a guy when you say that, don't you?
Foul situation. Steele with 5. Hollins with 5. Owens and Lucas 4 apiece. Seattle doesn't have anyone in foul trouble. 7:35. There it is. So with 7 minutes and 30 seconds to go, we are tied in Portland. Owens, Davis, Dunn, Neal and Twardzik on the floor for Ramsey. Neal's bank shot grabs the lead for Portland. Lucas has pulled down 13 rebounds. And of course he is out right now being rested. So is Walton and Lucas out. Gross injury. Walker control. Williams with that quickness just turns the corner. They brought it right on in with that speed of his.
Weak side defense a little slow in reacting to that. Gus should not be able to get all the way to the basket.
Just checking the clock at 6:40 to go. And Davis, who was red hot in the third quarter, spins out. Sikma gives Portland but one shot. Wojcik will take Gus. Webster was out high.
This year has really helped Gus Williams. He sure has confidence in himself now.
Steal by Corky Calhoun. Good defensive play, but Walker hit it right back as Wojcik goes down. The Blazer bench is furious. McKinney's got a technical. No, he does not. Ritchie wanted to blow it, and looking at him now, but still has not. Freddie Brown, corner shot. Now watch Ritchie Powers. He's come back to warn Jack McKinney. Blazers come back. thought Twardzik was hammered to the floor. 85-83. Freddie Brown has got the Sonics up. Neal for the tie. Webster with a hand on it. Saved it, wouldn't go out of bounds. And here is Freddie Brown coming up. Webster's jump shot makes. With the score, Seattle 87 and Portland 83. We'll return to the Portland Memorial Coliseum after these messages from your local station. Seattle has shot 60% in this fourth quarter. And there's 4 minutes and 52 seconds to go. 108-80. Denver leading Milwaukee. 108-80. Williams went to the other side. Wally Walker, but they have turned it over on the 3-second violation.
Yes, Marvin Webster anticipated the shot, tried to get in position for the rebound. When the shot wasn't taken, the official right on top of the play.
And as a result of that turnover, the Blazers can tie it. 4:35. Dennis Johnson will soon come back in for the Sonics. Lucas hit the last 2 field goals. 17 points for Maurice, who's playing with 4 fouls. And this game has been tied 11 times. The lead has changed hands 16 times here tonight in Portland. Owens dueling Webster, pushing him out of the attack. Marvin puts it down. Lucas on the double team.
That's where
Webster with great desire, Rick.
Where the weak side defense should have helped, Brent. Somebody should have attacked Marvin as he put the ball on the floor and never allowed him to get that penetration to the hoop.
Lucas came a little bit late then on that. 3:49. Here's Maurice. Got it down on Sikma, rejected by Webster and out of bounds.
Maurice is on the ground.
Walker is there.
Let's watch the play. He fakes Sikma out. Excellent move. He goes up. Watch Webster. There he goes. The good block. See if there's any contact there. I think Maurice did a pretty good acting job.
3 minutes and 40 seconds. 89-87. Sonics. Collins. Lucas. Sikma finally away, and it is all muscle underneath the glass right now. 2-on-2. Williams glides to the hole. A beautiful play in a pressure situation.
That's Gus's game, Brent. Give him the open floor.
That's 31 points for Gus Williams. Steal underneath. Foul as he threw it up at the hole. Stomach is churning, and you would never be able to tell it looking at Lenny Wilkins' face. But he played the game under control, didn't he? Jack Ramsey, just the opposite as you watch him. Down on that one knee, very active on the sideline. Free throws important for Ramsey's Blazers.
And of course, the Blazers are in the penalty situation. The Sonics only have 3 team fouls, so they have a distinct advantage there.
It's a 2-point Sonic lead, and the time left, 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Lucas over there on Sikma, dives to the floor on him. We're going to have a timeout here. That was the aggressive play of Maurice Lucas coming up on Jack Sikma. And Lenny Wilkins says, you allow him to mug the man, Richie? Sikma and Lucas on the jump ball after they tangled. Webster throws it back. They didn't call, he was out of bounds apparently, knocked out by Dennis Johnson of Seattle. It appeared as though Marvin Webster had stepped over the inline here. Let's see.
Here's the play.
You bet.
There's his foot, and the ball has not left his hands. They missed it.
Freddie Brown comes back in. The ball went to Portland anyway. It was almost like Marvin Webster might take one step on the sidewalk out there right now.
And it was good defense by the Sonics. They had a man open up the floor. They deflected the ball.
We are tied. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go. Would you believe that the Blazers could hang tough after to losing Bill Walton. But here they are, and the Sonics with a chance to go up by 2. Williams. Off, and it's Portland's turn, and it is furious underneath. No whistle. Hollins. Down toward the 2-minute mark. 91 all. Williams goes with Steele. Inside now, 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Hollins from the right corner. 93-91 with time running out. Now 1:55. Seattle going for the tie. Here's Webster. Banged by Owens and foul.
A little obvious on that one, Brent.
It sure was. Number 5 on Tom Owens.
I got to think.
Blazers are in the penalty, Rick, as you've been pointing out.
I got to think on that situation, Brent. If you've got Marvin Webster, a 7-footer, going to his left almost 15 feet from the basket, it doesn't make too much sense to give him a bump like that that's so obvious and put him on the free throw line for a couple of free throws. Right there, look at the body. No question about it. That's going to be a tough shot for him.
He's got a couple. He's not in the act of shooting, so he's got 1. He asked Richie if he could have 3 to make 2, but Richie said not this time, Mark. And the big fella calmly ties it. 1:45 to go in Portland. It'll be Hollins from the other side. He's off. And Webster got a hand. Williams for the save to Steele and Lucas. The whistle had sounded as the bodies came flying over here to the sideline. Lenny Wilkins up to check and see if Gus Williams is all right.
He's laying down,
He is
Brent.
behind the seats over here. Gus Williams came over and is behind. The trainer running over now. Watch it in slow motion.
There's the play. Gus is going to take a pretty good header there. He's laying down. Now he's gotten himself back up. It looks like he's going to be okay, Brent, but he took
Boy,
quite a
did he
fall.
take a shot, Rick.
Yes, and of course, in that situation, as we watch it again, when he goes over the end, the thing you have to be careful about, Brent, is that just over the other side of those seats is the start of some seats that begin to be elevated, and there is a ledge there. And thank goodness that he didn't hit his head against the side of that ledge.
31 points for Gus Williams here tonight. And a piece of popcorn tells you how far he went back into the seats.
And Richie Powers said that he was out of bounds when he went after that ball. This time he was on top of the play, and it was a break for the Sonics because if that ball had been saved, they had a layup. The Blazers, that
Full 24 on the shot clock. That's the time remaining. 1:25 in the game. It's been tied 13 times, and we've had 18 lead changes in Portland. Lucas will take it on Sikma.
Hey, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, Brent. He had to get that shot up a lot higher than he wanted to, and he got a big break.
Seattle goes for the tie. Webster and Davis comes in behind the screen. Williams takes him. Double team. They give it up. They've turned it over, and Gus Williams goes back to steal it. Gus Williams slipped back in to steal the ball, and the whistle was sounded underneath.
Here's the play. Now watch Gus sneak in from behind. Right there. He comes over, gets the ball. They call a jump ball. I don't think he had possession of it long enough. It was either Seattle's ball or possibly a foul on Gus.
Full 24, hit back by Webster, but to Portland. They're up by 2, and we're inside of 1 minute. 95-93.
They have to score right here to keep the real pressure on.
Here's Hollins, comes gliding down the baseline. Offense. It'll go to Seattle. And Ramsey has turned completely around. Bows his head on the table. Timeout call.
And here's the play right there. There's no question about it. That's a good call. The fans can yell all they want, but Lionel Hollins, I think, lost control of himself somewhat. Sikma was in pretty good position, and he really initiated the contact on that play. I think he lost his balance as Jack Ramsey looks on in disbelief.
I am almost surprised that Hollins passed up the shot. He had hit one there just a few moments ago that was a very big basket, and he decided to come down the funnel that time.
But Brent, he made a wise move. He had the opening to the hoop, and you'd much rather go to the hoop for a lot better opportunity, but it looked like he lost his balance.
Let me see
what
he
take a look.
did
You see,
here.
he's got a clear path.
Wide
it's a smart
open
move.
if he pulls
here
up
he goes.
there.
Now, right here, I think he just overextended himself. Now right there, you can see he charges right into the man.
Sikma was set. Let's go inside the Sonics huddle right now.
Okay. On the first play. Marvin will be down. But always got 5 fouls, all right? Forward, come out here. Okay? Come out here. Go ahead, take it down. All right, kick it into Marvin. This forward here. Okay? This will be you, Dennis. All right? You come up and back take the guard on this side. Marvin, just look. Take a quick look. If you go, if you're not, guard full out. Marvin roll.
Okay, Brett. You heard me say the ball's going to go into Marvin Webster down low in the pivot. Marvin's going to get the ball. When he gets that, the weak side man, Dennis Johnson, is going to come up. He's playing forward now with Freddie Brown and Gus Williams in the backcourt. He will come up and set a back pick on the guard away from the ball where Marvin Webster is. They're going to try to get the ball to that guard. If he's not there, they will clear both men out on that opposite side, and Marvin Webster will come around to his left, making a move to the basket. Let's see what happens.
So Lionel Hollins has fouled out after he crashed into Jack Sikma. 45 seconds left. Trailblazers leading the Sonics by 2 points. Calhoun will face up to the inbounds pass from Freddie Brown. It'll be Brown, Webster, Williams, Dennis Johnson, and Sikma. Williams comes out.
Gus will now take the ball to Marvin.
There it is to the big fella. Webster now holding on. Pull-up jump shot is off. Calhoun with a rebound. And Dennis Johnson reached in over behind and hacked him, hoping to knock it away, and fouled him with 32 seconds left.
That was excellent defense that time as the shot comes off. There you see good position by Calhoun. He gets his hand on the ball. Now a silly foul right here by Dennis. Watch this play right here. No chance to get the ball over his back. Boy, that could be so costly, and it may just cost the Sonics a chance to win this ball game. Brett, the reason that play did not work is that what Portland does on defense, when men make crosses and back picks, they automatically jump switch. They jump switch the play. There was never a chance for the man to get open going to the basket.
Now Lucas comes up and replaces Davis if there is a miss here. Owens and Lucas at the side with Calhoun in a 3-point Blazer lead right now. A miss, tapped right to Calhoun. It was Tom Owens who got a hand on it from the side. Time running down. They'll use the clock right now. Sikma over on Lucas. Here is Steele as they spread out. Inside of 10 seconds. Game time, wearing down. Seattle has not stopped it. Lucas shoots it at the buzzer. Freddie Brown is there. 6 seconds. They'd have to get a 3-pointer. Gus Williams maneuvers. Williams inside. Offensive foul. It's over. Offensive foul against Gus Williams, who played magnificently in defeat. And so Portland, without the main man, Bill Walton, hangs tough against Lenny Wilkins and the Seattle SuperSonics. And the series